Hey, this is John from Raven Guitars, and this is Guitar Talk. And today we're going to talk about bridges. Um, there's a lot of things about bridges that you may or may not know. You may be someone that just builds kits, and you put whatever bridge is in there, or you buy one to match what's there. But each kind of bridge has different applications, and the type of bridge that's in your guitar is going to be determined by what kind of neck you have. If you have a flat neck, like they use on Stratocasters and Telecasters, then you're going to be wanting basically a flat bridge. So your choices there are, and these are some examples of some Fender bridges. This is a string through hardtail bridge that you can use on a Strat or a Tele, depending on what kind of pickups you have in a Tele. These are really good. You can load the strings in from the bottom of this part. They go through the saddles and go to the end. And these are used, like I said, with flat necks. Same thing with the 2-point tremolo, which is what we have here, and the old standard Fender Stratocaster. This is their original model style. The saddles were a little different then, but this is what they came out with to put a tremolo or a dive bar on a Stratocaster. This one is a Telecaster Ashtray bridge. This one would be your vintage style. It's got these happen to have grooves in them, which makes it nice when you're trying to intonate your guitar. But each saddle, it has 3 saddles, and each saddle controls 2 strings. So that's what you put in a standard Tele. You can use the ones that string through from the back, or in this case, it's a top loader. You can load the strings from here, or you can load them from here if you have string throughs in your body. And then Floyd Rose came out with the double locking tremolo Floyd Rose bridge. There's a lot more to setting this one up, but it's designed to lock your strings down so they won't move, so that when you're using your tremolo, which allows you to go both ways, you can use it as a dive bar or you can pull it back either direction. And a lot of guys use them. Eddie Van Halen especially had them on every guitar he had. So those are one kind of bridge. Now your other bridge is, this one's called a Stets Bar, and it can be used on flat top guitars. It can be used with guitars with a roller bridge, because the strings go right here. So you don't actually have a bridge. This is the bridge and the plate and the tremolo all in one piece. Similar to the Rose, except this one doesn't have to, you don't have to route your body, and the strings just drop in and lock in place. Now your other kind of bridges are Pneumatic style roller bridges. These are most commonly used on your Gibson guitars, SGs, LPs, 335s. Some of the other manufacturers also use a roller bridge. This is a Pneumatic style. The problem with those is most of them use a saddle block at the end, and you have to string the strings through the saddle block, and it makes it where you have to do something different to be able to put some kind of tremolo or whammy on it with the roller bridge. Well, Bigsby came out with this style of bridge, and you see them on a lot. They also make this Bigsby attachment for Telecasters. But all of these are based on what type of neck you have. So all of these are pretty much set up for a flat neck. You can use the Floyd with an angled neck that has a 2-to-4. It just depends on how you set it up. It's pretty versatile as far as what guitars it will fit. The Fender style, they fit guitars with flat necks. The Stets Bar you can get to fit with either kind of neck. And then your Pneumatic bridge is where your angled neck really comes into play. Because what you have and what determines whether your neck at the heel has an angle in it or not, believe it or not, are the saddles. And it's how far the saddles are from the top of the guitar. And in the case of the Fenders, you let the saddles all the way down to the bottom. And that height from the top of the guitar to the top of the saddle is how high your neck has to be up above the pocket. And it should, at that point, if you've got it set right, when you put strings on it with the saddles all the way down, the strings should set flat on the frets from side to side. And then you can adjust for string height and intonation from that point. You adjust your string height the same way with some of your other ones. But on your angled necks, when you have a bridge like this, and let me see if I can show you what I mean. This is a standard Fender bridge. And the saddles here are, right now they're at half height. You can't adjust the height per se of those, of your Pneumatic below the distance, and this is all the way down from the top of this stud, the part that the stud itself screws into, because this is adjustable for string height. But you have to have a measurement from there to the top of your roller saddles. And that's how you determine the string height on this style of guitar. So you're measuring from here to the top up here. And what happens is that distance, if you look at them side by side, there's a huge difference here between the height of these two bridges. And because of that, you have to put an angled, a neck that's got an angled heel so that the strings are running downhill towards the nut, and you can get the height evened out so that your strings are parallel to your frets on your fretboard. So that's the purpose of an angled neck. And it doesn't matter whether that angled neck is glued in, a set neck, or bolted in. If you're using a Pneumatic bridge, that neck has to be angled. And so you have to figure out the angle. Usually with these, it's between 2 and 4 degrees. If there's any angle at all with a Fender bridge, it's usually 1 degree, but most of the time it's a 0. So before you order a bridge to put on your guitar to replace it, make sure you understand what kind of bridge you're going to need for that guitar, because each bridge is going to require a different kind of neck. So you need to know what kind of neck you have in that guitar before you buy a bridge. Also, your good old Stratocaster original style bridge has 6 screws across here. You have to tighten the 2 end ones and loosen the 4 center ones about a 32nd of an inch to get good pitch on this when it rotates. And then this block goes down through the body. Springs connect to it and go to what's called a claw, which looks like this. And it's how the tension is put on that so that you can hold it in tune and intonate it. You don't have that with a top-loading hardtail bridge has 5 screws in it. You make sure you've got this at the proper position based on your scale length. Screw that down in place. Make sure the strings go over the top of the pickups where they're supposed to, and that bridge is installed. It's a no-brainer. You just do your set your string height, but you can't use an angled neck. You shouldn't be using an angled neck with bridges that are designed for flat necks. Same thing with this one. It has 4 screws that go across here that screw this down, and that's all there is to mounting this bridge on a Tele. What does count though is the pickup right here. It takes a Tele pickup for that, and it screws in here and it slides down into a cavity in the body. Floyd Rose tremolos have to be routed different. They're similar to the 2-point Fender tremolo, which I have here, the 2-point style Fender tremolo. And this one also takes 2 posts. The posts are here, and that anchors this bridge to the body. It doesn't screw in place. Neither one of these bridges screw in place. All the rest do. The Tuna Matic roller bridge, it free floats on a set of pins. So you've got to, if you want that bridge to stay on, you have to have strings on there to hold it in place. If you're wanting to trim, then of course you need something like a Bigsby. They do make a Floyd Rose now that mounts flat on top of a guitar for like an SG. It's called an FRX. And it doesn't have this string block underneath. Everything's on top like the Stets Bar. So that's pretty much it on your bridges and the kind of bridges you could put in a guitar. Just remember, your neck determines what kind of bridge you've got. So, or vice versa, what kind of bridge you have determines what kind of neck you're going to put in that body. And so you need to keep that in mind if you're going to upgrade or modify your guitar as to what kind of bridges can I use with this, what will fit, what won't fit, what's going to cause me nothing but headaches down the road as I try to adjust this and make it work. So just be aware of what those bridges mean and how they're supposed to be applied and what kind of neck goes with each bridge. So that's it for bridges today. And remember, this is Guitar Talk, and I'm John from Raven Guitars. Make sure you hit like and subscribe to the channel.